It's as close to time travel as we're gonna get. This Week in Music History with Marty Miller.
Hello there and good evening, good morning or good night, depending on part of the world you're listening in. I was looking at the country stats for the podcast. Hello Australia, hello France, very random, UK, loads of ye, and some in America as well. Excellent. And of course Ireland, which I'd expect and hope. So to the 30 Irish that are listening now, hello. All right, this is Marty Miller here, looking at the week of September 23rd until 27th in music history. This week in 1968, a studio visit apparently happened that inspired this lyric. I'm not sure it's true though.
Like a lizard on a window pane.
We had another legend gone and one of the best in the world this week in 1980.
Was found dead today at the home of a friend in Windsor, England.
And pure, unmitigated tragedy in the world of Metallica this week.
The bus was on its side.
What happened? Is the bus gonna blow up?
I jumped out of the bus and took off.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This Week in Music History, the podcast.
In 1968, they say, whoever they are, Jim Morrison of The Doors came to visit the Beatles in studio as they were recording. And John Lennon would later sing in Happiness is a Warm Gun the lyric, like a lizard on the window pane, referring to Jim looking through the window at him recording. I'm not sure if it's real, but I do like it. It's a good story.
The velvet hand like a lizard on a window pane.
In 1977 this week, David Bowie released Heroes as a single, co-written by David Bowie and Brian Eno. On guitar, the brilliant Robert Fripp, back then of King Crimson. It's gone on to become one of the big signature Bowie tunes, actually. Here's Robert.
It was Brian Eno calling from Berlin. He said, "Hang on, I'm here with David Bowie, I'll pass you over." And David Bowie said to me, "Do you think you can play some hairy rock and roll guitar?" I said, "Well, I haven't played guitar for a while. I'm not sure, but if you're prepared to take the risk, so am I." Shortly afterwards, a first-class ticket arrived on Lufthansa to Germany.
In 1991 this week, Nevermind was released in the States by the band Nirvana. The idea for the front cover of The Baby Swimming came after Kurt and Dave Grohl saw a TV documentary on water babies. But that same water baby was bringing the album and its cover and its band to the courts in 2021.
Nevermind is at the center of a legal battle. Spencer Eldon, the man who was featured naked on the cover as an infant, now suing the band over alleged child sexual exploitation. A lawsuit filed in a Los Angeles federal court stating Nirvana used commercial child pornography depicting Spencer in a sexually provocative manner to gain notoriety, drive sales, and garner media attention.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This Week in Music History, the podcast.
In 1969 this week, more John Lennon recordings. He was doing a song called Cold Turkey with Eric Clapton and Ringo Starr and Yoko, of course. Did you know that Lennon apparently presented this song to Paul as a potential Beatles tune, but Paul went, yeah, don't think so. This week in 1980, Sept stickman John Bonham died. He wasn't a stickman as in he looked like a stickman, he just played drums. He was 32 years of age and had had a major drinking session. The rumour was, in 4 hours, 40 shots of vodka. Didn't end well.
John Bonham, drummer with the British rock group Led Zeppelin since its inception in 1968, was found dead today at the home of a friend in Windsor, England. Bonham was 32.
Obviously, he'd been in various bands and things before coming to Led Zeppelin. But with Led Zeppelin, it gave him the vehicle to be able to play the drums John Bonham really wanted to play.
This week in 1999, Liam Gallagher was stopped by customs officials at Heathrow Airport and made pay $1.5 grand for not declaring a fur coat he had bought in America. Wouldn't you love to be at that discussion as Liam tried to wiggle his way out of that? Because anything Liam Gallagher says is funny. For example, McDonald's.
I don't really eat a lot of McDonald's. The only time I do it is when I've had a bit of a night and I'm thinking, we'll just get that Uber Eats in. So you get all your drinks in, and you get all your food in, and they come, and they don't have straws. You know what I mean? He's sitting there, how am I going to get that milkshake down my neck without a straw? He does come now with his helmet on, and I'm like, where's the straws, mate? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, Do you know what I mean? Do you want me? There's another one, coffees. You know, when they give it you really hot, you know what I mean? They nuke it, you know what I mean? You go, yeah, I want to drink this now, not in 20 years' time, you know what I mean? I need this coffee now, you know what I mean? But and it's like just burn your head off.
This week in music history, a week in less than 10 minutes.
In 1965, at the end of a little tour, Roger Daltrey knocked out Keith Moon, The Who's drummer, resulting in Roger, the singer, being sacked from The Who. The band were playing 2 shows in one night in Denmark when an argument broke out. All 4 members were involved in the argument, but Roger was the only one sacked. He was reinstated the following day. No bad blood between Keith and Roger.
What about the little singer? What's your opinion of him?
Well, I think he does a damn good job out there. Personally, I mean, I wouldn't go out there up front with nothing to protect me but a small microphone. But he manages to revolve it so fast that when people do throw things, he gets sort of desiccated egg and sliced tomato.
Busy old week in Beatles world in 1969. They released Abbey Road in the UK. Here's Paul on the album's name.
You're making an album, and towards the end of the album, you start thinking, well, we need a title for this. So you're looking around, you're fishing around. And the engineer, Jeff Emmerich, who is our Beatle engineer who did all the great sounds for us, was smoking cigarettes called Everest. We kind of looked at that and said, Everest, big, it's heroic, that could be good for the album. So that was the working title. But the more we thought of it, we went, no, this is not great. And just one day we were in Abbey Road working, and I just sort of said, well, look, you know, why not Abbey Road?
Beach Boys made their television debut in the States on The Ed Sullivan Show this week in 1964.
Now, these youngsters, I referred to them as my Swedish friends, and to my amazement, 3 of them, who are brothers, tell me they are Swedish. They live on the coast. Generally, I found most of our fine Swedish friends up in the Minnesota section. You're a fine combination. The youngsters love you, so let's play a song for them. Will you ever sing a song?
The Beach Boys.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around. Woo! I get around,
Pure tragedy from 1986 when Metallica bass player Cliff Burton is crushed to death after a tour bus crash. This from the surviving members of Metallica.
It's the sound of screeching brakes and being flipped around like a piece of clothes in a dryer.
Just got woke up, like hot coffee getting poured all over me, you know, from the coffee machine, and, you know, the bus was on its side.
What happened? Is the bus gonna blow up?
Well, I jumped down as the bus took off. Did the 100-yard dash in about 7 seconds flat.
And we're standing out there in our underwear and, you know, 10 below.
And I heard everyone screaming except for Cliff. And I thought, oh my God, something's wrong.
And that is a look at this week in music history. We've just hammered through the week of September 23rd until 27th. Till next week.
This week in music history, a week in less than 10 minutes.